What's going on, y'all? It's your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to another unboxing. Just got this delivered about 2.5, 3 hours ago. Been a little busy, but I've been anticipating this joint. Finally got it. Possibly before you, the budget king of all the budget devices right now. The budget king of the $199 price tag. Man, let's go. Welcome to the unboxing of the new Mobile G3. New, not N-E-W, N-U-U, Mobile G3. Alright, run down the spec list, and we're going to crack this box. Now, we got a 5.7 inch HD plus 1440 by 720 display with the 18 by 9 aspect ratio. We've got Android 7.1 Nougat fresh out of the box. We've got a Helio P25 octa-core processor clocked at 2.39 gigahertz. We've got 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage. The memory can be expanded up to 128 gigs. Now the cameras, we've got a dual camera setup on the rear. We've got a 13 megapixel primary camera and a 5 megapixel secondary camera. The front-facing selfie cam is also a 13 megapixel shooter. We've got a non-removable 3000 milliamp hour battery. We do have USB Type-C that does support quick charge. Only color that you can get this in is this blue color, which you guys are going to see that this thing is absolutely stunning when I take it out of the box. All right. Additional features, we've got NFC, Bluetooth 4.2. This is dual SIM, so you can have dual nano SIMs in it, or you can have a nano SIM and an SD card for memory expansion. We've got a fingerprint reader, we've got facial recognition, and this is all for the precious price of $199. Alright, now we got the specs out the way. Let's crack this box, man. Alright, so peep out the presentation real quick. Very nice presentation. Black box, you can see. Got the new Mobile G3 right there. Go ahead and pull it out of the sleeve here. Boom. All right. Here we go. All right. So here is the device. Man, this thing has got some heft to it. It's all glass. So alright, let's see here. Wow, what a thing of beauty. What a thing of beauty. Alright, let's get this plastic off of this joint. That is sexy. Oh my goodness. Let's get this plastic off the back. If I can get to it. Oh, come on now. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh man, look at that. Oh man. That is absolutely gorgeous, man. There's no way that looking at this device that you'd ever be able to tell that this phone is $199. Looking at this device, extremely premium built. This looks like it's right on par with all the $5, $6, $7, $8, $9,000 devices, man. You see, we've got the new branding right there. Oh man, fingerprint sensor right there. There's our dual rear camera with the dual tone LED flash. Oh man. Oh, this is sexy. My goodness. All right, so we'll go ahead and file the phone to the side for a moment. Check out the remaining contents. We've got the getting started with your G3. Little literature right there. Okay. What else we got here? So, I'm probably not going to get a lot of third-party support with this. So it's nice that New decided to put a little soft shell TPU rubber case in there. Very thoughtful. I like that. Okay. You definitely want to protect your investment, and this is definitely going to help out with that. So good looking out, new, for tossing that in the box. All right, boom. Now we've got a Type-C to 3.5 millimeter dongle here. So obviously this phone does not have a headphone jack. So all of you that like to plug in, yeah, make sure you don't forget this. Or you won't be plugging into nothing, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. We got here. It's our wall adapter. All right. So yeah, this is the wall adapter here. File that to the side. And what else we got? Another little sleeve here. All right. So we've got a SIM ejector tool right here. You never have too many of those. And here is our Type-C cord that goes from the wall adapter to the device to charge the device. All right, so now that we got all that out the way, man, let's get back to this phone. My goodness, man. What a thing of beauty this is. 5.7 inch 1440 by 720 pixel display. So this display is 720p full HD. It's not 1080p. I have no problems with that at all whatsoever. You know, a lot of my devices that I rock, they don't have to be full 1080p. They don't have to be quad HD, you know, or 4K or whatever. You know what I mean? A lot of panels look really good at 720 pixels. So as you can see, 5.7 inch display. Top here, here's our ear receiver. There's one of our 13 megapixel sensors right there. There's another couple of sensors right here to the left of the ear receiver. I can imagine that that's probably where the sensors are that does the facial recognition. Bottom of the device here, we've got a little bit of a chin there. There's nothing there. Not sure that when I power the phone on if there's capacitive buttons there, but we'll find that out there shortly. Now, moving around to the right side of the device, we've got our volume rockers and the power button. The power button does have some rigidity right there, so you can distinguish between that and the volume rockers up and down. And buttons seem to be real nice and clicky and provide a real good tactile response. Top of the device, we've got our SIM tray, and again, this is where you can house a nano SIM and an SD card for memory expansion. We've got these little black little lines right there. Those are the antenna lines. To the left of the device, we've got nothing. It's just nice and smooth. And again, we've got that glass on the front and the back sandwiched in between, or we've got aluminum sandwiched in between the glass. All right. Bottom of the device, you can see we've got those very non-intrusive antenna lines again. Here is the what looks like a dual bottom firing speaker setup, and that would be nice, but that's probably not the reality of it. So we're probably looking at a noise canceling microphone here and the bottom firing speaker here, or the orientation could be the other way. Here is the Type-C port for charging. Oh man, look at the back of this. God, man, this phone is so sexy. New mobile branding right there. Fingerprint sensor. Again, dual camera setup, 13 megapixel primary camera, 5 megapixel secondary camera, dual tone LED flash right there. All right, now let's go ahead and power this bad boy on. Now, oh, whoa, whoa. Man, that is hella bright. So I'm definitely going to have to turn that down. Yeah, that's a really bright display. I'm not even sure. I can't see through the viewfinder barely the words on the screen because it's so bright. Kind of caught me off guard there, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't expecting it to be that bright right when you turn it on. But it's booting up. All right. So I'm going to go through the setup and I'll be back. All right. Y'all hold it down. All right, y'all. So we back in. Just got done setting up the new Mobile G3. And I've got to say, I mean, it's pretty impressive. You know, New is actually a brand that I had never really heard of too much. or really heard too much of. And it's just, just out of the blue, they came out with this device. And, of course, I did some research. I mean, they are a company that's been around for a little while. I mean, they are more so targeting the budget and mid-range devices. But again, I mean, there's just so many OEMs out here that are making devices, and so I love to get my hands on little devices like this that you've never really heard of before, and then just kind of checking out, their background history, seeing how long they've been around, looking at previous phones that they've put out. I find that stuff to be very, very, very exciting, and so I always like something new to play with. And again, the new Mobile G3 here, I mentioned, this could possibly be the budget king of 2018. Especially given the specs. Thus far, we've seen, the Honor 7X, we've seen the Huawei Mate SE. We've seen the Asus Zenfone Max Plus M1. We've seen the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus. And, I personally, I mean, I'd have to say that I think that right now, I mean, the phone to beat in the 199 budget range is the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus. I mean, and that's actually the phone that I'm recording with right now. And this phone is, man, this phone is absolutely, it's stellar, man. For 199 price tag, I mean, Snapdragon 625 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage, and just all the offerings, all the customizations and things that Xiaomi offers. I mean, yeah, yeah, excellent cameras front and back. Yeah, in the budget realm, I mean, that's the phone to beat right now. So, can the Mobile G3 here dethrone the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus? We'll have to wait and see. But so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I did not put any of my applications on the device. I mean, this is just the device as is, fresh out of the box. There was an update that was ready for me to update. So of course, I always stay on top of the latest updates, and it was just some minor bug fixes, stability fixes, stuff like that. Some stuff with the Bluetooth that got updated and things of that nature. So it seems like we've got just a pure stock Android experience. You see, as we swipe the screen up, and this is going to look extremely familiar. I mean, this is running Android 7.1 Nougat. I mean, so I'm not sure if they're going to be upgrading to Oreo. That'd be nice if they do. But we'll just have to see how that pans out. But these are all the applications that were preloaded on the device. I mean, you've got your calculator, calendar, camera, Chrome, clock, contacts, downloads, drive, Duo, ETWS, I'm not really sure what that is, file manager, FM radio, Gmail, Google, Internet, Maps, messages, phone, photos, play movie, play music, play store, settings, SIM toolkit, sound recorder, voice search, and YouTube. I mean, so we've just got basically the full Google suite on this device. I mean, and click on File Manager. As far as the internal storage goes, I'm not sure if you guys can see that there, but it says the available storage is 49 gigabytes, and so 14 gigs have been utilized just by the applications that come preloaded or pre-installed on the device. And so just it's good to know that you're not actually getting 64 gigs fresh out of the box, but you're getting 49, which is still a pretty nice amount of gigabytes that you've got to utilize for your own things that you put on this device. Again, you do have memory expansion up to 128 gigs, and so if you've got any SD cards, then you can go ahead and expand that memory if the 49 gigs isn't going to be enough for you. So that's a nice touch. And, typical Android Nougat setup, swipe down once, notifications if there are any, swipe down twice to get to all of your quick toggles. And, these things can be customized. As you can see, I got the phone down, the phone brightness down all the way. This phone gets really, really, really bright. It kind of reminds me of my Essential phone. The Essential phone is the same way. I mean, the phone gets extremely bright. You don't have to turn it up much at all, and it gets very bright. So the amount of nits that this phone reaches is unspecified, but I wouldn't be surprised if you were up there with 500 and 600 nits. I mean, this phone it gets extremely bright, man. I mean, viewing angles and everything like that should not be a problem. Of course, if you're holding the phone in direct sunlight or well lit areas where the brightness from lights or being outside or whatever is shining on the screen, then obviously it's going to obscure your vision a little bit. So just change the direction, change the angle in which you're holding the device. But when you're looking at the phone off of his axis, I mean, colors and everything look true to life. Again, this is a 720, a full HD 720p panel, and it is absolutely stunning. So again, I've got nothing to swipe from because I haven't preloaded any of my apps on it. I don't believe you have the ability to change the capacitive keys. I mean, so those of you that are used to stock Android may be a fan of that. Personally, I'd like the option to be able to change the orientation, but it's not really a big deal. That's a preference. But I do like the fact that you've got the home button right here. If you hold on to it, then obviously it's going to bring up Google, which is typical. But if you double tap it, then it locks the display. And so I like that. Rather than having to reach up and hit the home button, it doesn't have the double tap to wake, but it does have the double tap to sleep. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, I just showed that. So it's actually double tap the home button. So you can't double tap to wake, but you double tap the home button when the phone is open, and it'll put the phone to sleep there. Now, fingerprint sensor on the back where it ought to be, and I got the case on it that came with the device just because, I mean, this beautiful hardware in this glass, it gets kind of slippery. I mean, it almost slipped out of my hand twice as I was setting it up, and so I just went ahead and put the case on it. I like this case. It's just a soft shell rubber TPU, and so that rubber really gives the phone some grip. But again, the fact that the phone is also rounded at the edges, meeting up to the screen, is also very useful. Again, this is a 5.7-inch display. I mean, so it really feels like it really reminds me of the Zenfone Max Plus M1, because that is also a 5.7-inch display. But it's not a thick phone. It's thin. Obviously, it's stretched from top to bottom, and so you can see even with my small hands, I mean, I can very easily, I can almost touch. Well, I can touch my fingers with my thumb and my finger here to get my hand completely wrapped around this device. I mean, so navigating this phone is not going to be a problem at all whatsoever. But the fingerprint sensor, now see, I like the way that this fingerprint sensor is. I mean, just the orientation of it, unlike my S9 Plus here, where it's just all in the same. I mean, the fingerprint sensor on here is separated from the camera. I mean, so you can, there's just a little area right there where you can feel the difference between the fingerprint sensor and the camera. And so, as opposed to the S9 Plus here, just trying to reach for the fingerprint sensor, you may very well, reach up and fingerprint smudge the camera, which wouldn't be good, considering that this phone takes, very stunning photos. And so you definitely want those photos to be, top quality. But I like the fingerprint placement here, and it works 100% of the time. You just barely tap it, and it opens right up. Double tap to lock. Opens right up, and it just opens right up. Again, as I mentioned, this phone does have facial recognition. I haven't set that up yet, but I'll do all that stuff in the and I'll showcase some of that stuff in the full pristine review. Now let's see. So on to the cameras really quickly. And again, you know, just settings, typical Android type settings. Again, we don't have that condensed, consolidated look because we're not running on Oreo, and so you do have the full list of the settings. And so, you know, if you're, you know, an Android user, I mean, this is going to look extremely familiar. We do have some touch gestures that are on board. We do have a one-handed mode, which I have enabled. And so in order to access that, you just simply swipe to the right across the capacitive buttons, and you can switch. You know, if you're a lefty, then you can just hit the arrow to make sure that the phone is the one-handed mode screen is on the left side of the device if you're navigating with your left hand, and then you go back to the right. If you want to bring it back to full screen mode, then you just swipe left on those capacitive keys, and then you get back to the full screen mode, get you back up to those 5.7 inches. As I mentioned, we do have some system gestures, and so we've got slide to capture. So you can take 3 fingers, slide down the screen to capture a screenshot. You've got slide to launch the camera, so you can swipe 3 fingers upward to launch the camera. Slide to adjust the volume. I don't have that enabled, but you can swipe 2 fingers together upward or downward to adjust the volume. That's actually pretty nice, man. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and turn that on because that'll be pretty slick, just taking 2 fingers and just sliding your phone up to turn the volume up, or sliding down to turn the volume down. Double tap to lock, so this is the double tap the back button to lock the device, and then press to launch the camera. Two quick clicks of the home button launches the camera, and it doesn't matter which application you happen to be in. You can be in any app, and if you double tap or push that home button twice, it's going to take you straight to the camera. So, you know, if you're somewhere and something's popping off and you want to capture it, then, man, 2 quick presses, boom, boom, and you see that it goes right into the camera. Now, speaking of the camera, this is very iPhone-ish looking with the camera orientation or the way that it's set up. And so as you can see, we've got video mode there. And the way you're just navigating through these things just by swiping. So we're in video mode now. Now we're in photo. Portrait mode. There is a portrait mode, so that's good to see. And you can control the blur effect just with that little bar right there. Beauty mode. Panoramic. Mono mode, monochrome. And then we do have a pro mode where you can adjust the ISO and the white balances and all that kind of thing. So you definitely got some pretty cool features here. And I'm just curious to see what this camera quality is going to be like, because again, I mean, you know, the Honor 7X, the Huawei Mate SE, the Asus Zenfone Max Plus, man, I mean, the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus here, I mean, they all have great cameras, and so I'm curious to see where this particular camera stacks up. Now, as far as the options are concerned, I mean, you know, we've got scene mode, which if you click on that, these are all the different scenes. You know, auto, night, sunset, party, portrait, landscape, night portrait, theater, beach, snow, steady photo, sports, and then candlelight. So I'm just keeping that off for now. Set timer. Picture size. Again, the primary camera is a 13 megapixel shooter, and so you can take that all the way down to 1 megapixel in VGA or OVG or QVGA. So a lot of different things in which you can customize. Again, the white balance, the ISO, you got anti-flicker, image properties, location, and then the shutter sound. And then swinging it around to the selfie camera. Again, Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus, recording here. Take a quick little photo. Oh, okay, well, yeah, kind of blinded me there. Photo's decent. You know, it's a little dim in here. I know a lot of times cameras seem to struggle a little bit in dim environments. So, you know, but I'll definitely be putting together a dedicated camera video for you guys, so you guys be sure to stay tuned and check that out. Now getting back to the main camera, let's go ahead and take a quick picture of my little Android figurine right here. Sup, cuz? Alright. Okay. So that's a decent little photo of my little Android iHome. It's funny, it's an iHome little speaker of an Android. Yeah, I mean, so, camera quality seems to be okay thus far. I really have to, get it, test it out, get it under some different conditions, and see what it does. I do like the fact that you have customizations to be able to customize and edit photos, after you take them. So that's a nice option to have. Now, the speaker, it is not a dual bottom firing speaker. This is a noise canceling microphone right here, and then this is actually the speaker. So it doesn't sound bad. Doesn't sound bad at all. And then let's go ahead and go to YouTube, and then I'm just gonna go to my channel here. And let's see here. So you guys can see how it sounds.
Hold on. We got a laggy video call here. You need Verizon, the best network.
And we'll just go ahead and skip through that.
Somebody asked me a question the other day, and it was a rather interesting question. And I was like, you know what? Thanks for the idea. Because now I got to make a video about it.
Full screen mode.
Alright? You like to hear it? Here it go. Question was posed. Is the iPhone 8, which is what this is before you, ladies and gentlemen.
So you can see that speaker gets very, very loud. It's a very loud bottom firing speaker. I turned the volume up. I didn't hear any kind of crackling or distortion of any kind. And so, I don't turn the volume up all the way on these little speakers. I do everything through Bluetooth. But for those of you that are interested in this device and you like to just rock the actual sound coming from the device, then it's reassuring to know that it's got a good quality sounding speaker that can get really loud, and I'm pretty sure that's also depending on what you're listening to as well. I mean, that's just the sound of my voice over a video, but maybe if you're listening to some actual music and you turn it all the way up, depending on the bass and all that kind of thing, there may be some distortion or some static going on there. But all in all, just from playing that video and just listening to the sound of my voice, I mean, it was nice and loud. It was rich. It was clear. There was no distortion, even with it turned up to the maximum volume. So, gotta say, it's a single speaker. I'd prefer to have dual speakers, but I mean, you can't expect to have that on every device. But nonetheless, I mean, it's a good sounding speaker. So, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen, as far as the information that I can provide here at the very moment for the new Mobile G3. You already know, if you like this video, smash that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one, and definitely stay tuned for much more videos to come. All right, stay tuned for the dedicated camera video that I'm going to be doing on this phone, and that's going to be followed by the pristine review. So I'm currently in the middle of testing a few phones at once, and so the review is coming. So just stay tuned for it. Typically when I'm testing a phone, I like to throw my SIM card in it and rock out with it for at least a week and a half as my daily driver, just so that I can really, really learn it. But I wanted to, bless you guys with this unboxing, because I know that a lot of you have been, asking me about this device and wondering whether or not I was going to have it on the channel. So here it is. Much love to all of my subscribers, those of you that have been rocking with me for a minute. I appreciate, you continuing to be patient with me and rocking with me on this journey. The feedback, all the information. I learned so much from you guys. And so, let's keep this thing going. All my new subscribers, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the journey. I appreciate your subscription. And I'm going to continue to do my thing and get my hands on these devices, do these videos for you guys. Make sure you guys got the most information possible so that if you do decide to go with one of these phones, then you've got some of the key essentials in which you need moving forward. This is all to help you make an informed decision on what your next smartphone purchase may be. All right? I'm your man Pristine, bringing you the content. Until the next video, please stay safe. Get spiritually fit if you have not already, because we're definitely living in the last days, man. The rapture it's going to happen, and when it does, will you be raptured up to be with Christ, or will you be left here? Things that make you go, You know what I'm saying? Food for thought, man. Y'all do the dishes. Keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.